Warlocks and waffles. Warlocks and waffles. Pact once broken, forged. A pact once broken, forged anew. Waffles. Warlocks and waffles. Warlocks and waffles. Warlocks and waffles. A pact once broken, forged anew. Warlocks and waffles.
Did you want waffles?
Good morning, everyone. We are back. We are here. We are present, awake, accounted for. All of those things are accurate depictions of this morning. Good morning, everybody. It feels like it has been so long since we've
It has
streamed,
been
Judy.
4 years since we have done this, and I missed you.
Missed you as well, sir.
I'm very excited. I have a very specific written outline for how things have to pan
Oh
out.
boy.
Not to put your business out there. Everyone, Hunter was like, I'm getting on the call, but may I say what you said you needed to get? You know, I just because I don't like telling people's business out there. You mentioned drugs.
Oh yeah, I was
Legal.
I
He wasn't
messaged
talking
her, I was
about
like,
popping some LSD or taking some acid beforehand, but he was like, I need my drugs. And my response was, you're gonna need it.
yeah.
You're gonna need them in a non-ominous way, in a very like, no, really, you should. Like,
My
so
my ADHD meds sit right next to my bed, and in the middle of the night, I at some point
he
moved my
drinks them. He
arm
just pops
and
them all.
threw the bottle somewhere. So I had to try and figure out where it had got knocked in the middle of the night.
What I need is like, there was because I follow a lot of dumb tech trends. There was a watch that was a little thicker. It was a smartwatch,
Mhm.
but it popped open to reveal like earbuds. So it was a beefier watch battery, but instead of just lasting like, oh, super a lot of days or something like that, it also could charge your headphones, like the specific
very
ones that
cool.
go with that thing. I need that for my drugs. I need like just a smartwatch.
holds them
it's my
for you?
Pixel watch, but it has like, oh, time to take your medicine, and I open and it literally just shoots them into my mouth. That would eliminate a lot of things.
I saw somebody on TikTok who had a little like the gumball dispenser machines that sits on their desk, and they've put all of their meds in there, and so they just like turn the handle and it dispenses their meds for them.
That sounds good and bad. I imagine it's like, oh, I gotta take these 2 or these 3 every day. But when I crank it, I just get a lot of mix of like, oh, today's gonna be an extra focus day because it popped out 3 of my Vyvanse instead of
Oh man,
I'm gonna be extra sad.
4 days worth? That's a lot.
I'm gonna get 4 times the amount of work done today, though. That's what I would think. That's
Hopefully.
usually how that works.
At
Okay,
least for the first
so
half, and then you'll die.
yeah. So even though I hand wrote this bit of the outline, I do have a hot take that is usually at the top end of things for us.
Uh-huh.
Um, very spicy, very spicy for like coming back. The first thing back, I haven't been here for 2 weeks, it's been a while. Twitch is racist, right? So uh I had a stream playing. I don't really watch things on Twitch. I don't consume a lot of media on
Mhm.
Twitch as much. I remember when we were talking about the year-end recap where like everybody's comparing how many hours or minutes or whatever, it was telling people that mine is a fraction of other people's. But I clicked on something, I was like, "Oh, I know this guy. I'm gonna click it or something." And then a commercial played and it was in Spanish. I don't know why it was in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
But it was. And it
Yeah.
was a Spanish commercial for Olay like makeup. So there's just a lot of like I don't understand. I and I don't know where I was going with this other than what the F Twitch. But
If it makes you
that's
feel
just
better, I got the Spanish trailer for Dune 2 a few months ago.
all right. Maybe they're just making a Spanish version and sometimes it gets shotgunned out with things and scheduled and it's like oops we accidentally scheduled the Spanish one with what other stuff. So I'm gonna hope that was the case and not they were like, oh, this person's
Shoot.
last name is
Ruiz.
Ruiz,
Yes,
so they
this person
obviously
needs
are one of
a
those.
Spanish Olay commercial.
Yeah, let's help them out by making this in Spanish so they can understand what's happening. um just pretty fucked up. Anyway, uh
Welcome to
so
Warlocks and Waffles, a
Warlocks and
TTRPG
Waffles,
morning show.
TTRD morning show. So I have a very specific way that I would like to proceed. I
Uh-huh.
have so many things that I would like to just catch up with you with, like
Sure.
just to talk and to but I don't want this to be a full just oh, it's just a catch up vibe chat episode. Like I have this thing that I did. Uh Hunter knows that when I'm ill, sometimes I like to chronicle my fever dreams in the form of written word and such. And I
When Juna gets
have,
sick, he just starts texting me slam poetry. Um,
yeah, it's pretty dope. And we have been going back and forth on writing like an official Warlocks and Waffles adventure for
uh-huh.
so long.
Yeah, we've talked about
So
it.
I kind of have that, right? But I
Okay.
don't want to just go through and deep dive that because I also know I'm going to get segued and distracted by, talking, like just catching up. So I have very specific targeted, I'm going to cut us off so we can jump to the next thing type of bullet points in 2
Okay.
columns. I have a column for each thing, and it's we're gonna touch on this one thing, and as soon as we kind of get like boom, I'm going to the next thing, and it might be short. We might be chewing on it for a little bit. Could we do this in less than an hour? Within an hour, I think so. And if we have to revisit like one column or the other, we can do that. But I want to get it like just slam through as much of these as we can. And the very first thing that I have on here is just how are you? How are you doing?
Good.
All right.
You want more? I'm
Yeah, give me, just how you feeling? How you doing?
mentally exhausted, physically
Mm.
broken.
Damn.
uh
Oh,
I
there's like so many people that'd be listening to this right now and just like snapping their fingers in the air, like, yeah,
Same, bro. Same. Um,
vibes.
vibes. All day, all day. Yeah,
I'm also in my broken era.
he's giving broken. Um,
I'm writing that down.
I am uh I'm dying. I feel like absolute garbage. I say it regularly. My body doesn't like being a body. No part of my body enjoys doing the purpose it is designed for. So currently what is acting up is
Your lumbago.
I have two teeth that are both acting up, and so
Oh.
that hurts. I have a pinched nerve in my back. My hip on the right side is just constantly in pain. My wrists are sort of like compacted. Everything is awful.
I got a lot going on too, but I'm fat, right? So like that's my body. That's me punishing myself with that. You are not being crushed under the crippling power of your own weight, so that's rough. Your body
Yeah.
is just hating you right
my
now. That
my
sucks.
my body
ass.
my body when, oh, you're gonna be turning 29 this year. Well, you're almost 30. You should probably understand that nothing will ever feel good again.
That's just oh boy, the gravitational pull of 30.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. Anyway, so
So
that's how I'm feeling.
that's the crippling weight of your 30s is just destroying you.
I have
That's
a doctor's appointment today for a consultation for a sleep study.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't
So
sleep
it's a
at night.
consultation, so it's not even the sleep study?
It's
Like,
not the
is it
sleep study yet. It's the like, it's like going in and they ask me a bunch of questions and stuff like that. Because
interesting?
my regular doctor, I have repeatedly been like, I don't sleep well at night. Like I wake up, I feel exhausted. I'm like slowly dying. And
Mhm.
my doctor was like, that sucks. And
Oh
so
god. Yeah.
I keep bringing it up, and eventually, she was like, well, we've tried everything. Uh, get a sleep study.
I've tried everything. I've done this. I've done this. Gave you one of
We've,
these.
when she says we've tried everything, what she means is I've taken melatonin in a wide variety of dosages. And she's prescribed one other med. That's it. That's what we've tried. No, nothing else? Cool. Time for a sleep study. Let's see if I'm dying in the middle of the
Let's
night.
go. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I am. How are you?
Much better. It was a fun descent into hyperflu, which is like I know COVID is very still a very much serious thing.
Yeah.
It for us it hasn't been like as bad. It's almost so I think of it as like a hyperflu now.
Yeah.
But it was just my wife feeling bad, and then we just still had a test, and she was like, I wonder, and then it was like insta positive, and we're like, oh, well, great. And then I had a slow descent into the nightmare.
Yeah.
Tuesday was when I started, was the first day I felt like, okay, I feel a little clearer. And because I never recover. I always
Yeah.
roller coaster back to reality. And that pisses me off.
Every time you talk about like being sick, you're always like, oh yeah, no, yesterday was bad, but like I feel okay today. And then like
Yeah.
a couple hours will pass and you'll be like, just kidding, I have died.
Yeah, 1000%. It's like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like
You have
I have
momentary
died.
you have momentary bursts where I think the sick mania has hit you
Mhm.
and you're like, I'm powered. I'm
No,
good.
but it
Like
sucks. I feel
everything's
I'll be
great, man.
fine. I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I can like go out to Wawa or something, like something where I was just like, oh, as long as I don't touch anything or talk to anything, like I could, I can function
Right.
and do a daily thing. And
I
then I'm just
am
like,
a
my head
functioning
is
person.
dying. I want to curl up in the fetal position and stare at a wall. We
Yeah.
are a TTRPG morning
We're a
show,
TTRPG
and that
morning
was
show.
the
Second
and that was
question.
our how are you section. No. Now I'm bouncing to the other column where I talk about our thing.
Got
was
it.
just that.
Got it.
That was just the how are you question. I did one checkbox. I did one check now.
There are
So
136 boxes.
There's so many handwritten, painstakingly handwritten in mind-numbingly bad handwriting. I just want to at least, I'm going to hit people with elements of this, little pieces of it, and hopefully we can get through everything.
Yeah.
But the title, I know we've gone back and forth on everything. Sometimes simplicity and just going for this is it type of titles, I think really work. Because like I can't even fully tell you the laundry list of like, just like that image of like a writer's wastebasket slowly building with crumbled up pieces of discarded ideas type of thing. I was just like, how many like creative titles I kept going with, but I finally settled on the one that I think just kind of like it threads that line, and it's an adventure of warlocks and waffles.
Mm-hmm. That's the title or like a tagline?
Hold on. It's the title, right?
Yep,
The title is An Adventure of Warlocks and Waffles. Dot dot. Definitely not an erotic 5e adventure. So I'm gonna check that box off. So my next thing, going back to the checkbox, going back to the other column, right?
This isn't a conversation on that stuff. You're informing me of what these things are.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Understood.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, the official title of our official like adventure is An Adventure of Warlocks and Waffles. Definitely not an erotic 5e adventure.
Right. It's
So I
an
check that
erotic
off.
Pathfinder adventure.
I never said that. Going back to the other columns, like, so what'd you do during this time? You know what I mean? Like, aside from your body destroying you, did you do anything that you feel is like, it's like, what? I flew a kite, you know what I mean? As people do.
No.
But is there anything that you were just like, this was something that's in my life?
Sunday, I had a burst of like, I feel good. My brain is like functioning. I'm gonna do something productive. And so I like cleaned up my office a bunch and I reorganized a bunch of stuff. I took everything off of my desk, like unplugged everything from my computer, replugged everything in, like organized everything, got it all like deeply organized. And then I went to turn on my computer, and one of my monitors would no longer work. And I tried like unplugging, plugging back in, changing the outlet, all of these things. It just doesn't power on anymore. So I have to use my old monitor, which is garbage.
Not trying to be funny. Did you just swap out power cable?
I think it is the power supply itself for the monitor, I think failed. Because it will not turn on. Like the monitor doesn't register that there is anything, any power supply coming to it. Sucks, yeah, but it's a monitor that's not like being produced anymore, and so it is difficult to find a replacement power supply for it. Which sucks.
So there's a power supply for just the monitor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like a ultra wide curved gaming monitor.
Okay.
It is by far the nicest monitor of my monitors, and that's the one that was like,
That
I'm
sucks.
not coming back on. But I did get a lot. I did get a lot done. I packed up a lot of stuff. Also, I don't know if I talked about it on the stream because it's been forever, so I don't know when the last
Yeah,
time we
yeah.
talked was.
You have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Uh,
One of them just graduated college. The After I watched the Fallout show, I wanted to start playing Fallout again. And so
mhm.
I downloaded this massive like mod pack that connects Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas into one like play
I
experience.
know I heard this, and I feel like you did mention it on stream. I could be wrong, but I
It's
do remember this thing. Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I've been having a good time playing that. I described it to somebody the other day as I've turned not specifically connecting those games, but the way that I've been playing the game, I've turned this into a sort of rampage, gore-filled slaughterfest cozy game. And what I
Mm,
mean by that is I have played this game before. I don't really I finished like honor mode in Baldur's Gate not too long ago. I'm not really looking for a like a challenge or a beatdown or anything like that. But I also didn't want to just play the game on like the easiest setting. Because then like everything is the story itself becomes less interesting because there's just not as much like stuff. Um,
yeah.
Instead, what I've been doing is I put it on the hardest setting, and then used console commands to do toggle God mode, which means that I take no damage. I never run out of like stamina, and I don't have to ever run out of ammunition. And so I can just blow
This is
anything
wild.
up and run around, and I will never take any damage. Yeah, it's fun. I just wander through the wasteland, just absolutely obliterating anything in my path, and sing along to the music. It's a lot of fun.
That's interesting. That's really fun
It's
because that is
it, it's
that's well, it's easy mode, but with all the I don't know if you ever played like Guitar Hero and Rock Band or anything like
mhm.
that, but like whenever you do a song on easy, it's always like one note,
Right.
two note,
Yeah, where it's
and then
like
expert and
I'm
hard looks
bored
really
for
crazy and
most of the
cool.
game, but I
Exactly.
also
So you
don't
turned it up on
want to play
hard, but
hard.
without fail. Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of cool. Yeah. So
It's
it's like
fun.
all the cool stuff is happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cool. I
I'm
like
like
that.
I want to play as like an insane god of the wasteland. Like I don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
like just wandering around and a super mutant comes out and throws like an explosion at me, or like
Oh, another super mutant.
another super mutant.
I've never played Fallout, so
They're
it's
fun
like I
games.
know I know stuff. But it's just so funny. It's just like, oh, super mutant as they do.
Yeah.
Um, that's one of the ones we keep
My favorite
hovering
thing
over
right
to
now,
watch.
um the raider, there's like raiders that are like all over the place.
Hmm.
And the raiders have like things that they say when they run at you. And my favorite my favorite thing that raiders say is one of the raiders will yell, "I'm gonna eat your heart."
Buy me dinner
It's
first.
just always
Jeez.
funny. I do still absolutely get jump scared constantly though,
Oh,
because
really?
I'll just be like walking and all of a sudden I'll hear a noise and I'll turn and there's just like a monster that'll appear out of the darkness. I'm like, ah! Like even though I can't take any damage, Hunter's brain has no object
Oh, most
permanence.
definitely. Yeah,
Uh,
it's like
and so
you are in a
I'm still
tank. It
like
doesn't mean
panicking, just wildly shooting at things.
yeah,
Um,
if you're in a tank or a submarine or something, like you are
mhm,
safe. But if a giant thing latches, like a squid is just like,
mhm.
it's still horrifying. So I understand you're invincible, but it's still gonna like start. Your brain isn't.
Right.
They can't
Well, and the
they
other
can't
thing
turn
with
on
it,
desensitization. You know, just
yeah,
like I feel nothing.
the other thing with it is that there are there's like terminals, like computers that you can like hack
Hmm.
into to get information. And there's when you go to those terminals, you don't have like if you don't have a high enough science skill, you can't hack into them. But because I'm playing on PC, I can open up the like console commands and click on the computer and then just type unlock, and then it will bypass the like hacking you need to do.
That's
And
wild. This
and
is
I'm like,
crazy.
hey, some people would say it's cheating. I would say I'm actually hacking that computer. Like
I'm a
I
hacker.
got
Yeah.
into the code, man.
Like if you were if like just saying if you were streaming this, it'd be
I
so
would be
funny
I would be
that anytime you
absolutely
do it, you hit
ripped
a stream
apart every time I was on
you would
stream.
you'd hit a stream deck button and it would like cut to either a zoom in on your camera or another camera that you have set up for this purpose, and then it's just like you look and it says like hacker man and you're like
Yeah,
hacked, and
yeah.
it's just every time.
Desmar in the chat says, "Oh, I need a lockpick of 90 for this Footlocker." I don't think so. You get it, Desmar. Yes, absolutely. It is that exact situation. It's like I don't care. Like I want to put all of my points into my laser weapons because I'm walking around with this wild laser Gatling gun, and I want to be able to just go and just mow down people in the game.
That sounds yeah. That sounds cool because I know whenever it's like stat allotment, I'm like, I'm going for a bounce build,
Yeah.
or I'm going to think that sounds cool to me, and then it turns out like, oh, I didn't need penmanship. I probably should have invested in guns. So it's like
Why did I
great.
why did I invest 40 points into calligraphy?
Yeah, and it's like I need to save the world. But while we were talking, I jotted something down because we're gonna implement it either in life and or in a game at some point. But like I was saying, you can't, you could turn on God mode to turn off all the damage and all that stuff, but you're psychologically and emotionally that you can't turn on an emotional God mode. And I think emotional God mode in something sounds hilarious and awesome. Imagine turning on emotional God mode in a game
Mhm.
and it becomes the most PG. All like you'd have to design two games because just imagine just going like this is as horrible jump scare wise, content wise, and just like even like content where it's like you're like, yo, this is a rough subject. I like trigger warning stuff. Let me turn on emotional God mode, and it goes from a very problematic scene to like two kittens trying to decide which color ball of yarn they should play with. And it's just like you're like, whoa, man, if it's wild. If you switch on emotional God mode during certain scenes, you're like, this is what would have been happening in the story, and you're like, how did we get there? It's like choosing a random page in a choose your own adventure book. It's like wild. Uh, but now jumping back to the other
Yes.
column. For
Call
me,
call me.
when I was sick, last thing for me, the game of choice was I've been playing Dragon Ball games
Mhm.
because I'm not good at fighting games to be good enough online. I could beat the
Mhm.
hell out of a computer. I think that like whenever it's like a bunch of people amongst friends, it's like, there's a guy that's okay or good. Like I can be that
Yeah,
person,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not like I'm gonna go to a tournament or nothing. So I've been wrecking face on a computer. Like, I mean, like I'm there with a computer, like shit mixing, like take that Vegeta,
M
suck it. Just
my
like going ham because I can mindlessly just like feel powerful. And
yeah,
it's like, yes,
my
my body
brother
is weak here,
played
but not in this game.
Super Smash Brothers on his
Mm.
college's like esports team.
Oh God.
And like insane, very very good. And he would like I would go over to his place and I would play like Smash Brothers with like him and his friends, and if I wasn't in last place, that was an accomplishment that I could feel good about.
You know what I would love to normalize? I would love to normalize people that are that caliber of good at Smash Brothers, liking, like, enjoy playing with items and random stages and random things
Yeah.
because for them it's about skill. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know how you prove you're really good? Beat the randomness.
No, that's the
You know what I
thing
mean?
though. My brother will play on will random select
Mm,
characters, will do random stage, like doesn't care. It
okay.
it doesn't change. He just knows the characters really well. Um Items are a thing. Like if you play Super Smash Brothers and you don't like items being on in your game, you don't like the game.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Hot
just
take.
we're back to the hot take section. We went back up.
I'm sorry.
Went back up. Yeah, yeah, no, it's fine. So going to the other column now.
Yes.
Um, I wanted to just go over like the overarching like D&D,
Uh-huh.
and other TTRPGs, like they have these main pillars of like there's exploration,
Mm-hmm.
there's like the social aspect, and there's combat.
Yes.
And it, this was another. It wasn't pages, but it was definitely like one almost conspiracy theory board flowchart of like if I had to like distill like three pillars or elements of like what is Warlocks and Waffles, like what would that look like? So I pretty much just have like we either would be under content or just like to give that general thing nonsense was like right the first thing right there,
Sure.
comma, and then
Makes
raw
sense.
sex appeal, just like just there. And then the third thing, combat, right? Because then people are gonna go, wait, what? Right? So, yeah. I'm gonna check that box off. So going back to the other column, right? So the other day we watched Survivor, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm assuming like Applebee's is like a main Survivor like sponsor. So spoiler alert for anybody that has not caught up on Survivor, but there was a reward challenge where these people are on this island, and every once in a while it's like, hey, you get a yummy treat. And it's usually
Yeah.
like, hey, here's some burgers, or oh, here's like, you know, fun things to eat, or like, you know, whatever it is. And then there's like, hey, when you think of it, what, you know, Applebee's. And they said Applebee's, and I'm like, dang, that's hella specific. And then he lifted up a damn cover of a thing, and it was literal Applebee's. Like, I'm like the combo sampler. Like, I was like
Yeah.
from a commercial. Like,
Yeah.
it was there on that beach, and those
Try
people
Applebee's.
freaked.
New.
Oh wait,
New.
whoa, what happened here? Oh, hold
What?
on, my, you know what it is? My audio done switched on me.
My undio done swipst.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello? Stupid phone. Oh, there, I'm back now. My headphones are connected to my watch. I mean, my phone and the computer. So as soon as my phone was like, hey, are you good? The mic is to you, headphones are to both. So anyway, I turned off my phone's Bluetooth. Anyway, so Applebee's, right?
Yep.
And what proceeded was the most nonsense moment of Survivor history, in my opinion. I've never seen people relate to a reward harder in my life because they were all clearly like, I've had that. And it was the most nonsense thing ever. But yesterday, while me and my family were out, we saw an Applebee's, and we went and got Applebee's, and then got the stuff that we saw on the show. And it was one of those they got us moments. And I guess it's just, can you remember the last time that you consumed a piece of media, whether it's like a TikTok or saw an ad or something like that, and then either were like, now I have to do this, or went and got the thing, and then you were like a split second later, you're like, they got me. Like back in the day, there was like Sprite subliminal advertising. Like it was a joke, like Sprite was trying to subliminally advertise. And I just remember needing to get a Sprite when I'd get like a turkey sandwich at a Wawa. And then I was like, they got me. Like, I want a Sprite now. And I'm like, is this illegal? Like, this is ethically weird, right? Because I think they are using hypnosis. But can you remember a time where you were like literally tricked and allowed it to happen, or you were like, oh, they got me?
Kind of in this vein. I tweeted at Taco Bell yesterday and said, dear at Taco Bell, your location close to me has been closed for remodeling for weeks, but your app keeps sending me notifications about new menu items. I am hungry and this is bullying. Please tell my local store to finish remodeling faster. I need a Baja Blast. Hashtag mostly joking. The Taco Bell's app routinely will be like, hey, you're a slut for Taco Bell. You wanna try the new Cantina chicken toasted taco or whatever? And I'm like,
that is, oh my god, my wife.
I do.
I think she's had that maybe once or twice, but she is a slut for cantina tacos, where I've never heard a menu item mentioned more in my life. And then I had one, or I had half of hers, and I was like, yeah, it's good, but like, Jesus Christ, like what? Like she doesn't like not like we don't have Taco Bell like that.
Yeah.
But if it is brought up,
Yeah.
I could go for some cantina tacos. Like,
Yeah.
like I've heard that specific phrase
Yeah.
so often, and it's so funny you say that. I'm just like, God damn cantina tacos! Really? Are you serious? They have chalupas.
I want a Crunchwrap Supreme. We need to stop talking about Taco Bell because I cannot get Taco Bell right now. And
I'm not
it's
trying to be
deeply
fun. Oh,
depressing.
well, I guess I'd kind of familiar enough with your area. I was like, can't you just go to another one?
Yeah,
I
but
have
the closest
two
one
that
is
are,
like
like,
20
dumb
minutes or
close
so.
together.
It's like 20 minutes or so, and by the time I get out to that one and order and then come back, like it's a long trip, and also it won't be good by the time I'm home. The
'Cause
other
you're
one
getting
was
something
like
crunchy,
5
right?
minutes down the road. Well, even if you get something
Yeah.
soft, it's soggy. I was talking about this. It's wild how often I talk about Taco Bell. I was
Yeah.
talking about this with somebody
This is true. This is
recently,
accurate.
where we were talking about like Taco Bell and like the ideal time frame to eat Taco Bell. The Taco Bell that is close to us it shares a parking lot with a Walmart, and then there is a like hill that goes up like to the light to then turn onto the main road. And I was like, the ideal time frame to eat the Taco Bell that you order is the Taco Bell is right here. You go out of their parking lot, take a right, get onto the hill. By the time you're on that hill, you should be eating that Taco Bell. If you are
Interesting.
not eating that Taco Bell by the time you are on that hill, you have missed the optimal window for eating it. I love Taco Bell. Anyway, I'm trying to think of if there's been anything that is like specifically I know at when I was in Texas, when I was working in Texas, Bang energy drinks were a thing that was like, oh, that's the energy drink. Like that's the one that you drink. Which like arguably there's no difference between it and like all the other ones that are doing the same thing. But like for whatever reason that one was the one that was like, oh yeah, it's in your head. You're gonna go drink it. I stopped drinking it after I left there because I had drank so many of them. There are certain flavors of Bang Energy that if I see them now, I feel sick.
On the topic of like just totally ensuring that a brand never sponsors us, like Bang's never going to sponsor us now, right?
Good. I don't want them as a sponsor.
But I'm guessing when you see anything for that, you get that visceral reaction to like,
Yeah,
that not good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I only have one thing that I can have that with, and that I can think of that I have that visceral like, oh God, it should be Arby's, but it isn't. Because you mentioned how close your Walmart is to your Taco Bell. We had a Taco Bell, and then like butting up against it was an Arby's that there would sometimes be cars there. Otherwise, it was one of those things where people in my town could go, nobody goes there, right? Like, because it's just
that's all
nobody.
you're describing every Arby's.
So it's like, how does it exist now in the era of like mobile food delivery? You know, it's like maybe it's different, but that closed down, and it is now a Chipotle.
Interesting.
A Chipotle and Taco Bell are like this, so it's just like, you know, that's that dynamic. Whenever I get something, if I'm not going to sit there or something, if it's crunchy, I do live close enough where I can get it fast enough. Otherwise, it is I need to have, like, if I'm starving, something that is carable. And
Yeah.
when I say that, I mean I can eat in the car without making a total mess of myself.
Right.
Or is time sensitive. And then it's usually chalupa or something that's like stable. So
Right.
I don't have that issue normally, but I get it because my wife likes the cantina tacos and likes crunchy things, and there's that crazy shelf life of like that much time. So I totally get that. I wanted to go back over to the adventure real fast.
Yeah. We are a TTRPG morning show.
We are a TBR. Well, this all has to do with TTRPG stuff. I don't ever let us go too far away from that. What are you guys eating when you're playing your games? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like popcorn and snacks. I've had full blown pizza. I've had Taco Bell during a game before, so it's not
Oh,
like
actually,
outside the realm of
on the
we're still
topic
here.
of like you asked like what are you eating like during the game,
Yeah.
that to me is like even in the game, like what are you eating like around your campfire for like a
Mm-hmm.
short rest or whatever.
Cantina tacos.
I was at uh a bookstore recently and I found this. It's the ultimate RPG campfire card deck. It's 150 cards for sparking in-game conversations.
Oh,
There are 6 different categories. It's your past, your present, your companions, your dreams, your world, and hypotheticals, that are designed to be like a conversation starter that gets pulled, that then the party is having a conversation about that around the
that's fun.
campfire at night during their rest. And I really badly want to develop like a mechanic for it to be like you find a magic item that will like give you a prompt, and like if everybody participates you get some bonus after your long rest. But yeah, it was just it's a cool little deck. I like
That's
I
that's
like a story prompt deck. It's fun.
uh DM pro tip for people. If you find yourself never giving inspiration out, literally having something like what Hunter just pulled out and like going like here go, and then going anybody who participated in that conversation gets a point of inspiration. Easy.
Hmm.
Easy money right there, where it's just like they get to play the game, they get to do something, they get something, you get to do something that like you don't normally get to use.
Hmm.
And every DM loves those moments where the players are just kind of like going and
Hmm.
moving the needle, but you don't have to do anything right then and there because they're just going.
Hmm.
And that's the dream for people, you know what I mean? Like not everybody's gonna have like a critical role type setup where it's like everybody's like, Harlem Globetrotting the ball forward. It's like here's the thing where everybody you can answer a question of what do you think your character's favorite food is.
Right.
So stuff like that is fun.
It's fun.
Um, so uh, I wanted to. I will say that my adventure format is a little table of contents in the front where it like shows a lot of the stuff, almost like the index is not an index in the front, but like I have like some of the things you could see throughout the adventure type of whatnot. Um, so I know I have like some of the magic items that like the party could either start with as like this is like almost like when it's like there's an adventure and it has like specific adventure specific things you can just start out with type of
Hmm.
thing. So it's either like start out with this, if you know it's a one shot you're gonna get through it, uh because they're not always gonna be able to like loot things at the end, and unless you're continuing it, it's like, well, when are they gonna do this? Cool, they got this thing. I can't tell you how many times I've done like a cool adventure or one shot, and then it's like, yeah, you got this awesome, cool sounding thing. And the intention is like you could take this character, go somewhere else with it, and then pitch it to that DM that, oh, this other DM gave me this thing. But it's
Yeah.
like, if you know it is going to be a one shot or a short adventure and there's cool stuff, really front load it so then they can use that cool, fun stuff, because they're not going to be able to use it at the points you think they're going to get it. And
Hmm.
it's like, cool, now I have it for half a session. It's like, give it to them to the front and then see how that shapes stuff. So
Hmm.
um it's almost like player options that you can give them, but like some of the items that you can hand them are the sizzling sausage scepter. And this you could either do it where it's going to be like a melee weapon where it does some fire damage, or I love adding flavor to magic. So if it's like a spell cast using that as the focus, it adds like a point or a d something of fire to the spell, which I think is interesting. The whipped cream whip. and that'll be a fun one of those like how does that even function type of weapons where it's just like it looks like just a stream of whipped cream. Um and whipped cream is sticky, y'all, right? And I love a good multi-purpose weapon where it's like it can be used to hurt or something like that. But imagine whipping something and then knowing that's sticky now, and I can already see a player either using that like I whip this guy and then I whip this guy, barbarian, tackle this guy into the other guy. They're stuck together now. Or we need to get over there. I'm going to whip this wall a few times and it's like enough where we can't stick to it, but maybe we can run on it and give ourselves enough traction to climb something. You know what I mean? So it's just like it is a whip that makes things sticky. So it's like the handle is not it's not sticky to you. Maybe that's the benefit of the attunement. But it's definitely one of those don't let anybody bump into you.
Yeah.
It is just like you're gonna get real sticky, but not so perma sticky. It's not like sovereign glue, but it's still like annoying. Smells really sweet.
It's like blue tack.
Yeah. A creamy croissant cape. It is it's going to be like it's a cape that's layered, so it's like more of like a cloak of protection.
Okay.
And because it's creamy, if you are hit, it's things are going to get sticky and creamy upon striking you. So it's like instead of you making things sticky, it's that you touch me and get sticky. You know what I mean? Once again, this is not an erotic adventure. This is I want everybody to remember that. This is there's Warlocks and Waffles equals a lot of breakfast themed things. So stickiness, like there's a lot of sticky, sweet, salty, sausagey breakfast things that are like it's just when you look at all the things that are associated with breakfast, there's also a lot of things that also can sound erotic.
Can
my child just walked in the room. That's so funny.
Can I pitch you a different version of the item you just pitched?
No. So the next thing that God, yeah, I just thought that'd be really perfect. God, yeah.
Because you're talking about whipped cream. I don't immediately associate whipped cream with being sticky.
I know that's not the instant thing, but like I tried to think of a property of it that like would work. But you're right. Yeah.
But let me pitch you this: the Sir Whip. And it's a syrup whip. It's the Sir Whip. Which is just inherently a sticky thing. Anyway, that's all I had to contribute
a lot of
to
syrup. I had a lot of syrup-based things. It didn't visually look as. I think that's what it was for me. I went for like I imagined a like when you like put a line of whipped cream on something like that visual.
Sure.
Because if it's like a syrupy, it almost looks like licorice, I guess, in my brain. But like what you said makes more sense. I was just going for like if I had to AI image generate this, which looks cooler type of thing, and that's the route I went with that. But
yeah.
Like I said, I put all this in the front end because giving players like character options and doing stuff. I am describing a non-erotic adventure, if you could please. If you can just what child? Yes. What, you want to be fed? You want to like eat or something?
Yeah,
You want a cereal bar?
Ooh,
talking about whips, child.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm a good dad. Jesus Christ. What's happening? All right, so I'm checking that one off.
That's a sleepy child.
Going back to the other column, what's your favorite appetizer from Applebee's? Like when you go, what's your go-to? I'm partial to wonton tacos myself.
I don't typically order appetizers.
Okay.
We've gotten like an app sampler a few times from there. like a I'm a sucker for like a loaded fry.
Ooh.
It's been a while since I've been to an Applebee's. The Applebee's around us have all Applebee's? What's Applebee? What's the plural of Applebee's?
Apples.
All the
Applebee's.
Applebee's locations have closed around me.
Oh wow.
There's like
So no one's eating good in your neighborhood?
there's like one there was an Applebee's like 4 minutes from me, and it closed and got turned into a diner. And yeah,
Interesting.
it's also it's a diner that closes at like 8 o'clock, which is like insane to me.
That leans well, diners are notoriously like, you know, like a senior like there's two I think main clientele traditionally, not like this is exclusive, but you know, it's, you think of a diner, you think of like truck stop 24-hour, like, you know, it's just like anybody can go at any time type of thing to get like diner food type of thing. And then there is like early bird special. It's like we were literally when we went to the Applebee's, it was earlier in the day and it was a lot of older people.
I take it back. They close at 9.
Like,
they used
still,
they close. They used to close earlier, but they also don't open that early either. Yeah. 6 a.m. That seems like when I think of a diner, I think of like really early or like really late, and it doesn't have either of those.
This caters to, it looks like that one's like going for like, it's like, hey, everybody's gonna
this is a diner themed restaurant.
Yeah, kind of like that's really the thing. Yeah, there's like it's like a diner theme. That's actually the perfect way to put it, because it's just like, hey, we're gonna get the people that want breakfast. All the old people, they're gonna get dinner by 2:30 or 3, and then maybe some people are getting something after that. But this isn't gonna be, oh, you and your buddies are gonna like trying to figure out to get some munchies, and you don't want like a main like big chain restaurant type of thing.
I don't have a favorite appetizer from Applebee's. It's not something I ever ordered at Applebee's.
Do you have
I will say
I know one favorite of your thing.
I would crush a quesadilla burger from Applebee's. Those things, those are good.
Those are good.
When I was in Texas, we would get off work at like late at night, and so Applebee's was like the only thing that was open. So I'd be rolling into Applebee's at like midnight, order a quesadilla burger and get some drinks. Like, good times. You said you know one of my favorites? Well,
hold on one second. I'm responding that I'm a good dad to Desmar. They just wanted it, and it's true. Be concerned, like if you see somebody on a stream not taking care of their child, you should go like, hey, go do that.
Absolutely.
My wife is here and she is actively feeding our child, so like everybody,
I have seen Junie take care of his child. He is good at taking care of his child. In this when we are on stream, it is a running joke.
That was all a bit, everybody. But
my favorite example of that will always be
me having a cereal bar at the
episode,
ready.
Where she walked in, you handed her a cereal bar and an iPad, and she was like ready to, you could tell that she was like about to be upset and was like, ah, and then you just turned, handed her a cereal bar and an iPad. She like looks down, like had that look on her face of like she's almost upset that she doesn't get to be upset now, and then it's just like
because she's my child. She will like want to argue the nothingness of it.
Right.
But
just made some Minecraft villager noises and left.
Yeah. My I've accidentally like, it's because, you know, I value like, hey, let's communicate effectively type of thing. So I've taught her like, you know, just tell me what you want as close as you can, so that way we can get to that point so we don't have to be upset. She's a toddler. It's one of those things, kids can't control everything. But what I've accidentally created is a very like, not articulate isn't like, oh, she's got a huge vocabulary and she's so smart type of things. Like, she's smart, but it's like she's the kind of smart that you're like, that's a 2-year-old type of thing, where it's like we're going to the doctor, she's like, I was like, hey, we're going to dinner. She's like, I'm nervous. And I was like, that's a big feeling and thought and expression
Yeah.
for like, what is what? Hey, it's okay. Whoa.
Father, I
Jesus.
have trepidation revolving around this trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 1000%. And I'll be like, hey, we're going to do this. She's like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, we're like, I
I
got you mac and cheese. Are you serious? Like, okay. Yeah.
I love a kid that uses what I would consider like grown up vocabulary of like
That's just how I
words-
talk to her. So that's how she talks to me.
words that a kid is just like it for whatever reason. That's just like it's a normal word. It's just like funny to hear a kid
It
say
sounds
it.
different coming out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say like favorite stuff. Like I know you have a favorite. I believe a favorite breakfast item, right? So it's like I think you usually order an eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict is my favorite breakfast item. Yes,
Correct. So if Applebee's aside, do you have a favorite appetizer? If you see it on a menu, or you're like, oh, like for me, it's chili. I love chili.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
chili's
fuck up
good.
a chili if I'm somewhere. I'm gonna want to just know whether it's good or bad. I want to at least know.
I like I said, I love a loaded fry. Like but like a loaded fry, if I can get like the fries as like the side of my like the side with my meal, if I can get that as like a loaded fry, I'm very excited. As far as like a appetizers go, I love a good app sampler. Where it's like, hey, here's an app sampler. Here are all of our appetizers. You can choose like 4 things from our appetizer list, and we'll give you a small portion of each of those. I love that because I have ADHD brain, and if I have a big plate of something, I will be tired of it by the time I reach the end of it.
Interesting.
And I'm no longer
Oh, wow.
I'm no longer enjoying it. If I can get an app sampler where it's like, yeah, here are 3 things of this and 2 of those and 1 of these, and it's like, excellent. Yes, thank you. I like that. The problem is a lot of places their app sampler is like, here's our app sampler. It comes with these 4 default things. You cannot change them. And I'm like, but I don't like 2 of those things.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like,
Yeah.
choose 4 things off this list. And I'm like, most of these things on this list
Yeah.
are bad. Like nobody is going to order these by themselves. Why are they on the app
Yeah.
sampler?
I feel you.
Chili's will let you if you get creative. Chili's is a good one for app sampler.
Hashtag sponsor
if
us,
you-
Chili's.
If they like you, they'll make things happen for you. Yeah.
So we're out of time, so I didn't even get to go into like the introductory paragraph of the adventure and like the actual like outline of it. So like, but and I actually can skip I had one more like because it was going to be one more like touch base thing, and then I was going to like deep dive into the adventure. But my next thing was
if
like,
you have time to run a little long, I can run a little long. It's been
I don't.
Okay.
Like it's wild. It's just the whole thing. The whole outline's done. And that's like a hard stop. It says hard stop in all bold. I wrote in bold, right? I wrote in a marker. But it says like it's like one of the questions I was gonna have was like, what does your Applebee's look like? Because they tailor them to like be like they had a remodel, like a chain wide remodel, where it's like it's a lot of things from your area. Do you know what I mean? So I would see things from like the local high school, like a local park, and you're like, so you don't even know what I'm talking about, type of thing. If you go to an
every Applebee's I've ever been to looks exactly the same.
It's made to feel that way, but if you look at it, there will be things of like, oh, that's actually this county's park.
Oh,
Or
you're like the individual like pictures on the walls and stuff like
correct.
that.
Yeah,
I have never
it's like a
looked
local-
at that anywhere.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, is it one of like it was us, and then the only thing we have like a very like iconic type of like old timey looking theater in our town, and like that was the thing that caught our eye, and then we kind of like started looking at it because it's like that's Landis Theater because it has the big marquee and it was huge, taking up a wall, and we're like, oh, this is all. Oh, that's so and so's jersey because you just default like, oh, it's sports bar, oh, it's Applebee's themed stuff, and then you kind of go like, oh, that's that water tower that was near
Yeah.
my house
Yeah.
type of thing. And they go for that. So it's like for ours, I was like, oh, it's this
That's
big
cool.
marquee of a theater and like a specific water tower. I'm like, I know that
Yeah.
thing.
They have to put some intentionality into like
Correct.
learning
Yeah.
a little bit about where they're going. That's pretty cool.
But the one
Too
we went
bad
to
so many
yesterday,
of them are closing.
yeah, like legit. The one we went to seemed like there was like a sign at the front that I could tell was supposed to be like a sign of like a welcome to this town type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, there was nothing that felt like, whatever.
Yeah.
And it got the vibe of like, this is like an Applebee's light, even though it was like a
Mm-hmm.
full size restaurant. We were like, oh, are they doing okay?
If only they put the same effort into like making sure their food was good and that like their drinks were correct and stuff like that.
I'm not even
I have strong
joking that
feelings.
I understand that. They tricked me via Survivor to go back, and I got that sampler, and I didn't get the burger that I was gonna get. I got something else, but I was like, they did it. And
this is why we can't take like a week off, is because we come back and Judy's like, this whole episode is Applebee's. That's all we're talking about.
You could not look at my outline and say that it is 75% Applebee's. You can't say that. And only less than 75% the topic. You can't say that. So I don't know. Do we ever in the chat? Do we ever look at homebrew? We have.
Yeah.
We've done like homebrew reviews, critiques, and like we've created various homebrews. We've even had Griffin from Griffin Saddlebags on the show and discussed like homebrew and item creation type of thing. Which actually, that's actually a distinction I do think that we do like to highlight sometimes. The difference between like homebrew and like, what's the word?
Third party.
Thank you. Because there's just like a little bit of not that the person that made homebrew isn't good or something like that, but whenever third party, there's a little bit more of a vetting process, a procedure, a standard, XYZ.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah, the
Oh, she gave you a cereal bar? All right. It's so funny. Just like if I had it
she
like
almost
screen,
fully just fell backwards through your green screen.
Yeah. Hold. Let me get the stuff off that chair.
But yeah, we do look at homebrew stuff. Desmar, join the Discord. Send if you have stuff that you want us to take a look at, send it our way. Happy to look at it. But yeah, anything else, Judy? Is there other stuff on your outline, or are you?
There's so much, and it's a shame that we can't dive into this. Like I said, I had the whole like outline. I'll at least hit you with the first line. I'll hit you for it's just like and it's you can't with intention like write what it should sound like, because every DM or every person reading this is going to read it with their own voice. But like there is the intention of like read this with as serious a voice as possible, whether it's like italicized or whatever. But it's like breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but this breakfast will be the most important meal of your life. And if that doesn't make you want to fucking dive into this adventure, like, dog, bro, like you're laughing because you feel it. That hit you. That hit you in your goddamn core.
It's right? Freaking good, and I hate that.
I know you do. I felt what you felt. I was like, he hates how good that is. And that is written down. If you don't believe my ass, it's right there. I actually skipped it to come back to it because I wanted to get over the sexy items first. But I was here. But yeah, like
I love it.
So everybody keep an eye out for an adventure of Warlocks and Waffles. Definitely not an erotic 5e adventure. You know what? We're talking about emotional God mode. Like maybe this will be one of those like, I like it when people like give those options. Have you ever seen workout videos or anything like workout fitness related, and they show like, hey, for people with like for accessibility, you can do this with a chair.
Mhm.
Kind of like, here's another option to do this.
Yeah.
And it is nice in an adventure when they go, you can do this like this. Like accessibility or adventure options, like you don't have that many people, supplement it by giving
Yeah.
anybody a gremlin. You know, something where it's just like, here's how you can mitigate something.
If you're playing with 2 players, add in a kobold hireling named Steven.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like for something like this, I think it would be like you can either have options to make this sexier
Mhm.
or not sexier, just because breakfast is, well, I guess breakfast could be the sexiest meal of the day. I guess that's arguable. I almost feel like we have to put a poll out of like, is breakfast the sexiest meal of the day, or which is the sexiest meal of the day? No, it's breakfast. But like, okay, but like, how sexy can it be? But like, you know, and the idea of like the emotional god mode, like, you know, and turning it whatever, it's almost like, here's the general description, and here's the description depending on which version you're using.
Mhm.
So it's like, here's the general thing, and then there's a lot of flavor text for things. Oh God. It's choose your flavor. Oh, that's perfect, actually. So it's always like a little flavor text. You give the general idea, you give what's happening, and give the context. And for the flavor text, we would have 3 flavors where it's just like, you know, normal, and then kid friendly and spicy. So we would just have the spicier thing. So it'll be like, you go in and this is with the sweet smell of it, and then you go in and it's just like everything is very, and you describe it very safe, friendly, and then you go in, it says like, it smells like fucking and breakfast. You know, it's just like, you go you have the difficulty slider of how you want to make it.
Oh boy.
But you know, it's rough because like I wanted to go into it a little more, and it almost sounds like, you know, it's just, you're like, hey, do you have more time? And I'm like, no, and we're still doing it, but
Yeah.
you know, it sucks that I'm wasting that on telling you what it could be and not what it is, and I know that's frustrating for everybody involved, especially me.
Well, welcome to Warlocks and
but
Waffles, y'all. We're back.
Warlocks and Waffles, we're not an erotic TTRPG morning show, despite everything you've seen and heard and smelled.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard because, you know, it's just like, oh, they're most likely not wearing pants. They're trying so hard to not be sexy, but be sexy at the same time. Junie's hair, like, I know I have that sexy tousle. Hunter's hiding his sexy tousle because he's decent, and I apologize for not even doing it. Bro, why are you gonna hit it? We're gonna get demonetized so goddamn fast.
I will say, Judy, the pencil pen
Mhm.
combo in your hair is really working for you.
I
It's a
wanted
good
to
look.
emphasize how hard I've been writing this. In a fever state for an irresponsible amount of minutes. But yeah, I'm just glad to be here, and
It's
I'm
good to
glad
be
we caught
back.
up, and
Yeah.
and we really hit some of the hard stuff today, like, you know, what you did, and Applebee's, you know,
It takes
the
a
eroticism of
tremendous
Cool Whip.
It takes a tremendous amount of nonsense for me to look at an episode and be like, this might be our least productive episode.
I don't know what you're talking about. There was boxes were checked off. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be one thing for like, what did we accomplish? It's like, we caught up and know more things. I'm leaving this having been made better, having talked to you.
I'm
knowing these things, and my child is back, and I hear like, she's just
we
she's
gotta
just
wrap
like,
it.
I'm back. She just
Okay.
wants to sit here, though. That's the funniest part. She's like, I'm just gonna be in this chair over here. Cool beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for putting together this presentation, Judy. We will be.
It was going to be a full goddamn PowerPoint, and I thought that,
and yet it wasn't.
Because look, here's the thing. Because here's what happens, right? Here's what it is. I was going to, for the sake of not, I know I sometimes push things on you last second, and I
Uh-huh.
don't want to go like, "Hey, I have a complicated something or other,"
Uh-huh.
right? So I was going to just make it like, like around me. Like it was, I thought it was pretty clever. It was going to be a presentation that is strategically green screened around me, right? And make
Mhm.
myself. But then I was like, all right, if my box is over here, you know, how much of the screen is it taking? Is that more annoying, or like, I believe in this enough where I know my words can convey
Mhm.
how borderline sexy, inappropriate. No, what? It's definitely not erotic. Just how good the adventure is. Um, but yeah, so I figured that we can do it without the PowerPoint this time. But
Cool.
next time, for the people that are like clamoring for like seeing that yeah, you can have some Blippy. Here you go. Good dad again. Once again, I'm a good dad. We will dive into that. And definitely. Oh, there was one that was so funny. Actually, the smoked sausage stockings. I'll go into those another time. But like, it was just sausage stockings. It was gonna be a thing. But anyway,
Thank you all for being here this morning. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We will be back on Monday with more nonsense. Now that we're back in the groove of things, we'll have some more like deep dive TTRPG topic to dig in on. Hopefully, we'll figure something out. And we'll be back on Monday. Until then, your calls to action for the weekend. If there's an Applebee's nearby, maybe go. I don't know. It might be worth it. If it's not nearby, it's probably not worth it. Second thing is the next time you're at a table playing a game, when your party is around a campfire, ask them some questions. Get some conversation prompts and start a conversation with your party. And third one, ask your friends what they think the sexiest meal is, and gather all of that data and
and
report
why,
back. Yeah,
and why
get
it's breakfast.
get a good answer on that. I personally think it's brunch. But there's I just think brunch is sexier than breakfast.
It's a little trashier. Like, oh, let's get drunk. And it's like
Well, I mean,
starting off the day with
anything can be.
passion and stickiness, and just that sweet, salty in your mouthness. Look, we're not an erotic show. Like, what are you
I'm
doing?
gonna end the episode. Have a great
And it's so
weekend,
funny,
everybody.
me saying that, and my kids like, look, Blippy, like in the corner right here. We're not an erotic show.
We will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Remember to embrace the nonsense, and we'll see you later. Bye, y'all.